Removed the seat post, put it in upside down, so we're going to use the flange to knock out the seat post. It was very well glued in, it's taking the paint off with it. Okay. So the inside of the frame needs to be cleaned. I'm using a contact cleaner here. You can use a disc cleaner. There's something that's going to get rid of the remainder of the super glue that was used. So you can see there's a lip in here, and we'll be putting glue in, so I want to just make sure that is nice and clear. So this is the new seat post. It's got a raised lip. This is a post 2002. So what I'm going to do is just do a dry fit. You can see that it fits in there comfortably. It needs to go in below the metal, yeah? So actually you'll feel it and hear it pop in. And to get it out, just use the flared end of the tube. Pop it out. So we're using the Bob Smith Industries IC2000. What's different about this, it's super glue, cyanoacrylate. I always have difficulty saying that. And the key thing, you maybe just see it there, it says it's got carbon and rubber. So it's the rubber primarily, and what this does is this allows it to remain flexible. Okay, so we've cleaned the tube. I'm now going to apply the glue on the raised edge. I'm being careful to stay away from the edges. I don't want it squeezing out. Now notice I didn't put it around here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the glue into, so the slot lines up with the slot, squeezing, and I'm able to hold the top because I haven't put glue on it, and down I go, and here's the tricky bit, there we go. So I'm just making sure that the slot lines up. I'm now going to give that a wipe. Well, the glue is still setting. There's a little bit just came out the top, which you want to avoid if possible. Okay, so we're now going to take this mandrel and we're going to, I need to just make sure this is loose. It is. So this is slightly smaller than the tube. It's designed to go in before we've reamed. And now what I need to do is tighten the frame down onto the mandrel, and what that will do is push the seat sleeve firmly up against the frame, squeeze the glue and get us a really good fit. So this sets very quickly, but I'm actually going to leave it for a couple of hours. So what I do with the glue after cleaning is I take some petroleum jelly and put that around the tip and then squidge the cap on. To remove the mandrel, loosen the locking lever and then use any bar through the holes in the mandrel and just gently work it back and forward. Let it come out at its own pace, there's no need to force it. Just the back and forward motion slowly eases it out. So this is the reamer. It's inserted from the bottom of the down tube. You'll see I fitted electrical tape, I'll talk about that shortly. So here you can see me just testing the seat post, and it doesn't go into the sleeve. The sleeve is too narrow. We're going to open it up now with the reamer so that it is the perfect diameter for the seat post. So you see the electrical tape. This keeps the shaft of the reamer perfectly aligned. It rubs up against the outside of the tube and will ensure that you're not wobbling back and forward. So it's a hand turn. Nice thing is the chain ring can remain, so you can get your one hand on the knurled and another onto the shaft, and that gives you a nice smooth rotation, which is essential. If you want to get a nice smooth ream, then being consistent helps enormously. And you'll notice as I remove, I rotate it in the same direction. That was how far we cut down. And that's how far we need to go. So this is the moment of truth. There's the seat post fit, and yes, and it's quite tight. If you think it's too tight, then you can just re-ream and open it up a little bit further. I've decided I'm going to just leave it like this, put the seat on and see how it feels. I'm going to be changing the seat post for a titanium one, and I'd rather actually have it a bit tighter and then open it up if necessary when I put the new post in. So 15 Newton meters for tightening the pentaclip. You can see that's not a hefty turn on the Allen key. So again, probably a little bit stiff. You know, you might want to go in and open it, but I'm going to leave it like this just so that I've got the best chance of it being a good fit when I put the titanium post in.
Now we need to tighten up the locking lever. Key thing here is not to have it so it's too tight. I find I tighten it as far as I can with my fingers, and then a very short part turn with a wrench, and that will get it to the point where it's able to be opened and closed fairly easily, but will give a nice clamping force onto the seat post. So that was the end bung, and now the two O-rings, and then put the seat back on for the final time. I like using electrical tape because you can wind it to exactly the correct diameter. It will stop any lateral movement. The official Brompton technique is to use a seat post sleeve, and of course that works as well. I just prefer the tape.